The following program may contain subject matter and language suitable for mature audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
And welcome back to another creepy edition of the Meltdown. His name is Jeff.
His name's Norm.
And today we're talking about UFOs. UFOs, those things in the sky, the unidentified flying objects. Now, let's clarify one thing. Okay. When you say UFO, you don't necessarily mean flying saucer, alien spacecraft, anything of that nature, because the unidentified flying object is just that. It is an unidentified flying object.
Right.
If it's in the air, moving around, and you don't know what it is, it's a UFO.
Yeah,
right?
Strictly speaking, sure.
It is.
By
That's.
definition.
I mean, if you want to be, 100% on board, that's what it is.
Yeah.
But today we're going to be talking about the flying saucers, the discs, the triangles, all the myriad shapes that UFOs come in. It's a topic very close to my heart, Jeff, because I am one of those people that believes that we cannot be the only intelligent life forms in this vast, endless universe. There's just no way. And if we are the most intelligent ones and the only ones, that's sad. It really is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So today we've got some interesting facts about UFOs, plus Lou Saracino will be here with some out-of-this-world comedy. See what I did there?
Yeah, that's great.
And then we're going to be looking at a few hoaxes in our stupidness. So, Jeff, why don't you take us to our first segment?
All right. It's going to say a Meltdown Minute with Lou, but that's not...
That is not it, no.
It's now time for Meltdown Fun Facts.
All right, so here we've got 21 out-of-this-world facts about UFOs. Got a lot of these, so we're going to rip right through them. Here's number one. The Canadian National Research Council has a record of about 750 sightings of UFOs. The only other official and mostly complete records of UFO sightings are under Project Blue Book. Project Blue Book was a UFO research agency whose headquarters were based at the Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Project Blue Book has over 12,000 reports of UFO sightings and events, with 6% documented incidents remaining unsolved. How's that? That's scary, huh? Here's another interesting fact. Winston Churchill reported seeing a strange airship, or UFO, in Kent, England. It was sighted on October 4th, 1912. See that? You don't have to be just some kind of southern guy in his farm field out there in the middle of Alabama or something. You can actually be the Prime Minister of England.
Churchill.
It's amazing.
Sweat and tears.
Yep. We should never sit down. Here we go. Here's another fact. The first documented account of a UFO sighting in America dates back to the year 1639. John Winthrop, the colony governor of Massachusetts, noted an incident where 3 men observed a luminous object flying around the Muddy River near the same area of the Charleston for a period of 2 to 3 hours. Now let's talk about something here.
Okay.
1639, okay? We did not have aircraft.
No.
We did not have planes, helicopters. We didn't have aircraft. And I don't even think they had weather balloons back in the 1600s. And yet a report of 3 people witnessing something flying around in the sky, doesn't that kind of give you an indication that there might be something to this?
Quite possible.
Eh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Could have been a bird, but then again, maybe not. Could have been a UFO.
A bird on fire, perhaps.
Firebird.
Firebird. There you go. All right, here's another fact. In Roswell, New Mexico, on July 8th of 1947, an information office publicized the recovery of a flying disc that crashed in a ranch nearby. The government dismissed the story as simply an experimental balloon that was integral to a classified program being conducted. Critics cried that a cover-up of extraterrestrials was afoot. And of course, Roswell, Roswell's famous. It's been in the news forever, ever since I can remember. Here's another fact. Thanks to the Bible, some say the book of Ezekiel proves that UFOs have been around a lot longer than we may have thought. The prophet Ezekiel is noted for recounting his observation of a great cloud with fire enfolding itself, a wheel in the middle of a wheel that descended and fired lightning bolts onto the earth. And that's actually, I've heard of that before. Ezekiel's wheel within a wheel.
Yeah.
Here's another one. A poll taken by Roper in 1991 gave a startling result. Almost 4 million people believe they have been abducted by aliens at some point in their life. Now, you're laughing. Why? Have you been abducted, Jeff?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Not yet, eh? No, you haven't been one of the chosen few. You don't have your card yet.
No, you're right. I feel rejected.
All right, here's another fact. Most UFO reports later end up being identified as objects or natural occurring events. Balloons, meteors, nacreous clouds, and hoaxes are often misinterpreted as proof of alien life and spaceships. That does happen. Yeah. Here's another fact. Studies have shown that 5% to 20% of reported UFO sightings are unexplained and remain to be unsolved mysteries. See there, I took my narration voice at the end of that paragraph to give it a little bit of gravitas.
That was a nice touch.
Thank you. I'm for hire, by the way. Here's another fact. The term UFO, for unidentified flying object, is not the only descriptor for sightings in the sky. UAP, or unidentified aerial phenomenon, is used by investigators. OVNI, or Object Volant Non-Identity, is another acronym used by many in Europe. So there you go. Here's another fact. The book Flying Saucers from Outer Space, written by author Donald E. Kehoe in 1953, was the first to use the term UFO. So now we know where the term came from. 1953. Another fact, between December 1948 and April 1955, many witnessed green fireballs above the skies of New Mexico. Astronomers, military personnel, and members of the public were baffled about these UFOs. Dr. Lincoln LaPaz, a meteor expert, was brought in to investigate. This was because the objects sighted didn't behave like a natural phenomenon or meteors. After years of investigating the phenomenon, the results were inconclusive. Nobody knew what the UFOs were, except that they weren't meteors. Okay?
Well, they narrowed it down a bit. That's
Well, I'd say quite a bit.
Yeah, that's the first step.
First step. Process of elimination. Yes. Here we go, another fact. A papyrus containing notes of Pharaoh Thutmose III detailed a UFO sighting around 1480 BC. A circle of fire was seen in the sky, and the scribes reported their sighting to the pharaoh. Days following, more UFOs showed up. The pharaoh decided to burn incense and have his scribes mark the day as important. So think about that. Just think about it.
I'm thinking about it.
I mean, there was nothing then. We had nothing that went up in the sky and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Here's another fact. Explorer Christopher Columbus saw a glimmering light in the distance on October 11, 1492. He called for Pedro Gutierrez, who bore witness to the strange light. The light vanished and reappeared several times, in addition to making strange movements. Columbus took this as a sign they would soon arrive on land. His prediction came true, just 4 hours following his proclamation. But to be back in those times and to see something and to have no... Because I'm assuming that most people didn't think outside of their own little circle.
Right.
And I'm sure there were some people that thought about life, but they didn't really know what the universe was back then.
Yeah.
So it would be even stranger to see something and like, what the hell is that,
For sure.
Okay, here we go. Another fact. The term flying saucer is widely used to describe UFOs, since many are shaped like a saucer. In 1947, pilot Kenneth Arnold described his UFO sighting as a flying saucer, hence the name stuck. However, many UFOs sighted also look like balls and triangles too. Balls. I don't know, there's something about that word. Balls. Anyway.
That's what the UFO looked like.
It looked like a pair of balls flying in the sky. And then there was a giant penis behind it. Or in front. I guess it would be in front. Anyway,
Yeah.
I digress.
That's
Obviously, we're
detachable.
no longer talking about UFOs. Here we go. Here's another fact. Even the legendary Alexander the Great had an encounter with the UFO. In 329 BC, as Alexander and his army were crossing a river, some silver shields encircled with fire began diving at his men and scaring their war elephants. The war party had to wait until morning arrived before they could cross safely without interference. What do you think of that? Yeah. Alexander the Great.
No, he witnessed it.
He wouldn't lie.
And again, going back to the time when there were no airplanes or helicopters, etc.
No drones, nothing. Another fact, July 2nd is World UFO Day. This date was chosen to honor the time an alleged UFO crash in Roswell, New Mexico, on July 2nd of 1947.
One day after Canada Day.
That's right. And that's why we all, in Canada celebrate UFO Day right after Canada Day.
Yeah. Of course, in 1947, it would have been one day after Dominion Day. But
Yeah.
when we celebrate the birth of Dominion food stores, which still exist.
Or the Toronto Dominion Bank.
Yeah, or the Toronto Dominion Bank. Yeah.
All right, so back to UFOs, Jeff. I don't know why. I mean, this is a very spacey subject and we can't stay on it, but whatever. Astronomer Jose Bonilla was credited with taking the first photographs of a UFO in 1883 in Zacatecas, Mexico. 1883.
Oh, well, they had cameras back then.
Well, obviously. Thanks for that, Jeff. Hey, I took a picture with what, an apple. Wow. What technology has changed.
We had to take pictures of the apples. I don't know. They were nutritious, but the pictures themselves weren't very good.
Here's another fact. Thanks to UFO phenomenon throughout the world, many UFO-based religions have sprung up. Scientology, the Ethereal Society, and the Universe People are a few noted UFO-based faiths. All right, here we go. Since 2001, the reported numbers of UFO sightings in the United States has tripled.
Whoa.
The Mutual UFO Network and the National UFO Reporting Center gathered over 121,036 eyewitness testimony to measure this increase in activity. And actually, I saw something one night a few years ago in August that I reported to the UFO Reporting Center. I did.
What did you see?
Honestly, it was like 5 or 6. Well, first of all, they looked like stars. They were that far away, and there were 5 or 6 of them in a half circle, and all of them were moving at very, very slowly across the sky. 5 or 6 of these dots.
Wow.
So I didn't know if I was seeing these separate things or was it an outline of something else. That was pretty freaky. Anyway, I just thought it was my duty to report.
Well, good for you.
Here's another fact. During World War II, the 415th Night Fighter Squadron had a little extra company during a mission. While flying over the Rhine Valley, there were suddenly strange lights following the airmen in the sky. November 1944, pilot Edward Schluter and other personnel described 8 to 10 bright lights of an orange color flying at the side of the left wing of the plane at high velocity. Despite the sightings, the radar and ground control did not have any visible readings. The repeated reports of UFOs by Allied pilots during World War II became known as Foo Fighters.
No, Foo Fighters.
Yes. Hence, that's where
yes. Dave Grohl.
That's right. That's where he got it from. So if you learn nothing else and don't care about UFOs, at least now you know where the term Foo Fighters came from, thanks to the Meltdown. And we'll accept cash as any kind of a thank you. So now we're done with fun facts. Had a lot of those. I hope you enjoyed those. And now, Jeff, what's next on our menu today?
It's time for a Meltdown Minute with Lou.
UFOs, or UFOs, which is the proper pronunciation. Yes, I'm that guy. Here's the thing. Do I believe that there are other future and advanced civilizations that live in the vastness of the universe? Absolutely, right? Like, just odds-wise, it would indicate that, yeah, there probably is. Do I believe that the same civilization that's mastered space travel and traveling billions of light years would come all that way to see us? Yeah, that's what I find a little hard to believe. You know what I mean? Because they're going to get here, and it's going to be like us checking out an anthill. They'll be like, oh, they're building homes. It's cute. You see my point? And we always kind of presuppose that it's a good thing, that we're going to be pals, right? I don't know if you guys have ever seen the Twilight Zone episode. It's called To Serve Man, very famous. And the twist at the end is that, these aliens come to the Earth, and it turns out they're cooking man. It's literally to serve man. Oh, no. And that's, I think, a more realistic concept, to tell you the truth. And my concern, folks, is that aliens are going to come here, and then some creature named Elcon 4 from the planet Zootron is going to be using me as a toilet brush.
All right, thanks very much, Lou. And now it's time for Meltdown Stupidness.
All right, as promised, we have the recent top 3 UFO hoaxes.
All right.
Here we go. So Cancun, Mexico, in 2007. This UFO hoax had so many people raving about seemingly legitimate footage of 2 UFOs with spinning round edges and fiery lights underneath. It flew over the Haiti beach low enough for great video footage to be recorded, shared, and reshared among the public. It caught so much attention that the LA Times decided to investigate. To the public's demise, they found that it was just another hoax created by a French video animator doing an experiment for a movie he was involved with. He constructed the video in a day's time and posted it online, not even intending for it to be a hoax. Here, let's go back to Canada. In our last episode, we talked about foods created in Canada. Here was a hoax created in Canada, in Oak Bay, British Columbia in 2008. 1 year after the Haiti hoax, 2 young boys around the age of 14 posted a video of a greenish UFO hovering over the waters of Oak Bay in Victoria, British Columbia. Watching the video through all the WTFs strikes one as being real, especially the fact that not too many teenagers can match Mr. Frenchman's above skills in video animating. It eventually came out that it was a UFO'd drone. If these boys couldn't animate one, surely their science project teacher can give themselves a pat on the shoulder. Nice one, guys. Now go sit in your rooms and think about what you did. And here's the most recent one in Santa Clarita, California. This was back in 2012. This video is the most recent of the top UFO hoaxes in history. Shot in the late afternoon with the driver of a vehicle also being the cameraman, reveals a massive UFO flying over his car. Again, the UFO flying at such a close distance from the driver's car that the camera actually justifies the size and detail of the UFO. To use the same illustration again, if I showed this video footage to my grandpa, I would have confirmed what he believes about the Roswell sighting 1,000,000 times over. Without too much time wasted on investigation, it turns out that the filmmaker with the nickname Many created this UFO hoax, and this time not only generated the UFO, but the whole video scene, including the sky, clouds, power lines, etc. According to Many, the electric towers are 3D geometry, and this guy is a 3D dome that has a texture map on it. That's a combination of painting, volumetric clouds, and photogrammetry. In my opinion, this is worth the acknowledgement of a modern-day Roswell sighting, truly amazingly generated, and Many thanks for getting us all excited. All right, well, that's all for this edition of the Meltdown. I hope you can join us next week, because we are going to be switching gears a little bit, and a blast from the past episode, if you will. We're going to be looking at some really silly, stupid inventions again, because there were so many of them that we actually couldn't look at them all last time we did them. So we're going to show all the ones that we couldn't get to before. Really, really insane inventions, and we'll look at some really good ones too. And then in our finale episode, Lou Saracino will join us, and we're going to get his take on all those wacky inventions. It should be a lot of fun. Anyway, until next week, my name's Norm.
And my name is Jeff.
And this has been The Meltdown. Hope you can join us. And hey, if there's any aliens out there who want to beam us aboard, now's the time. We're all done our show.
Yeah.